Once upon a time, Jacqueline Bisset was praised as the most alluring English lover in the world. However, there was much more. Complexity hidden underneath that beauty. Danger clothed in silk, she rejected billionaires, disregarded customs, and described marriage as nothing more than a trap for women. Her standards were unwavering, and her lovers were strong. Ultimately, though, she never got married or had kids. Why? She recently disclosed the cause, and it's even more startling than what her own father once said. Come along as we explore the fascinating tales that underlie Jacqueline Bisset's remarkable life in this video. Jacqueline, who was born in the peaceful English countryside in 1944, had no idea that she would spend over 60 years in front of the camera or that her life would become entangled with love, passion, and heartbreak. Some claim that her parents' divorce was the source of her desire for independence. After over 30 years together, they parted ways in 1968. A deep scar was left on their daughter's spirit by a break that appeared to be silent on the outside. Many people think that Jaewin's independent, reclusive, and slightly rebellious personality was influenced by shock. Few people are aware, however, that by the time of the divorce, she was already a rising star in the music industry, mature enough to start penning her own tale, but still too young to avoid the ensuing breakups. When Jacqueline landed, her tragic role in The Sweet Ride in 1967, it was the biggest turning moment. In addition to helping her escape the typical stereotype of an English actress, the movie gave her a passionate romance that would follow her for years to come. She met Canadian actor Michael Sarrazin on the scene. He had sharp features, a gruff appeal, and an undeniable attractiveness. There was no need for an introduction between them. Their hearts stirred as their gazes locked. What came next was a 7-year silent love hymn, tender, intense, but full of agony. They were frequently characterized by close friends as a couple intended to mix but never meant to last forever. While Jacqueline provided him with stability in the tumultuous world of show business, Michael showed her kindness. They made numerous appearances together in the early 1970s. They were never ostentatious or controversial, but they were always enough to show the world that they were a couple. "I didn't come to Hollywood out of ambition," she said, admitted in an interview. "I stayed because I was in love with a man." Millions of people were moved by this statement. Everyone was aware that the man was Michael. However, all came to an end in 1974. There was only a calm understanding between two people who knew all too well that love doesn't always last. There was no formal statement, no tears splattered throughout. The press. Rumors were rife in Hollywood. There were many who said Jacqueline had been deceived. Some said that she was the first to walk away. It was difficult to know the truth since it was frequently the first thing buried in a world where every embrace and smile was overdone. Jacqueline drifted into a number of relationships after the breakup, each man coming and going like the wind, leaving just as abruptly, but each leaving a lasting echo. She was seen in 1972 with Love Story star Ryan O'Neal, who was at the top of his career at the time. They looked at each other more than they spoke as they walked hand in hand like lovers. There were rumors about it, of course, but these were never verified. The tabloids had every excuse to plaster headlines over the front page whenever they appeared in public together. In the same year, Jacqueline went to France to work with renowned director François Truffaut on Day for Night. Truffaut is renowned for both his easily moved heart and his cinematic vision. There were rumors that he had a more than professional relationship with Jacqueline in terms of music. There were tales of tight situations, lingering looks, and unsaid feelings. However, Jacqueline wore her quiet like armor. For her, any emotions that could have existed, if they were genuine at all, were merely a halt along the way. In 1973, rumors circulated once more, this time connecting her to the aspirational hairdresser John Peters, who would go on to become a Hollywood producer. Peters chased Jacqueline for a brief period of time with the same ferocity he applied to everything he did. However, Jacqueline was not readily impressed, even if he was enthralled with her attractiveness. If anything did occur between them, it was short-lived. Nevertheless, there was plenty opportunity for the media to exaggerate the story, making headlines about this brief relationship and excitedly transforming sparks into scandal. Jacqueline and Michael's 7-year romance came to an end in 1974. She was at the pinnacle of her stardom and one of the most sought-after ladies in the world after the breakup. Almost all of the men yearned for, to be able to support her. Victor Dry, a wealthy Moroccan businessman, entered her life in this setting. Jacqueline didn't try to disguise this relationship, in contrast to her more private one with Michael. She freely laughed in front of cameras at glitzy events, went to movie premieres with Victor, and strolled arm in arm in Beverly Hills. Victor had established a successful career in fashion, but he was so enamored with Jacqueline that he gave it all up and relocated to the US permanently to be with her. "Jacqueline changed my entire life," he would later acknowledge in an interview. However, Jacqueline had never connected marriage and love. She referred to it as a cage that held her free soul captive. In contrast, Victor yearned for security and a permanent residence. Two contrasting perspectives on love, two powerful personalities. Thus, in 1980, they made the decision to separate, just as Jacqueline had previously left Michael. Jacqueline was not exempt from speculations while she was dating Victor, she and actor Nick. Noli were the talk of the town in 1976. Stories that they had departed together spread after just one instance of the two being seen having a private conversation at a party. There were no images or evidence, but it was more than enough to pique the public's interest in. Later, Jacqueline was the focus of fresh rumors as her relationship with Victor started to deteriorate. This time, it concerns the renowned Audrey Hepburn's son, Shaw Ferrer. The audience was taken aback not only by Shaw's young, but also by Jacqueline's long-standing admiration for Audrey. The story became a big issue for tabloids because to the age difference and the complex circumstances of her present relationship. As usual, though, Jacqueline opted for silence, leaving everyone to wonder. The gossip didn't end there. Candice Bergen's name appeared alongside Jacqueline in startling headlines by the 1980s. When it came to same-sex partnerships, Hollywood was still way too strict at the time. As a result, many were shocked to learn that Jacqueline and Candice had a brief but passionate romance. There were simply rumors, no pictures, and no eyewitnesses. Nevertheless, Jacqueline's own open admission that her love life was never limited by gender or logic fueled the rumors that continued to circulate. The audience was led to believe that anything with Candice might have actually occurred by that very phrase. Jacqueline surprisingly fell in love again just a year after splitting from Victor. This time, it was with a man who was both brilliant and shadowed by his past. Russian ballet dancer Alexander God is now an actor. Alex was a symbol of freedom at the time, but he was also deeply alone because he had just left the Soviet Union. He had left behind both a well-known career in his native country and a wife who, unable to cope with her own homesickness, went back. Alex made the decision to remain in America, but he was stuck in a never-ending void and unsure of how to go. Jacqueline appeared at that precarious moment. She claimed that from the moment they first met in New York, she felt as though she had known him her whole life. Maybe their love of dancing was what brought them together. Jacqueline, who had learned ballet as a youngster, recognized in Alex both her need for independence and a mirror of her early years. They created a straightforward bliss in Jacqueline's house, one that was firmly anchored by their strong bond. However, that joy would not endure. For Alex, the road to Hollywood was not simple. Strongly devoted to his identity, he kept to his characteristic Russian accent. However, this inadvertently hindered his career. Even worse, rumors circulated that Jacqueline's star power overshadowed him, turning him into a shadow next to her brightness. He was pulled down by the weight of stress, uncertainty, and hopelessness. Jacqueline made an effort to save him. She saw the tall, charismatic, confident guy she had loved gradually give in to booze and cigarettes. Alex made a marriage proposal in a last-ditch effort to keep their love intact. However, Jacqueline saw that he didn't require a wife at that precise moment. She was unable to provide him with the rebirth he required. Instead of starting a fresh chapter, the proposition made them feel even more despondent. Maybe Jacqueline might have thought about marriage for the first time if Alex hadn't been in such a terrible situation. They eventually split ways amicably. Jacqueline's heart fell once more when Alex passed away at the age of 45. Jacqueline continued to succeed in her acting career as that 7-year period of her life came to an end. When Jacqueline accepted a part in a French movie in 1988, she unintentionally met Vincent Perez, a budding actor. Their attraction to each other was unaffected by their roughly 2-decade age difference. Jacqueline, as usual, was lured to Vincent's youthful vigor and enthusiasm, and Vincent was genuinely enthralled with her. The fast-paced lifestyle between Hollywood and Europe made it almost impossible for their intense months-long affair to survive. They discreetly parted ways by 1992. No scandal, no drama. Even still, Vincent's memories of Jacqueline will never fade. Later, Vincent and Carla. Bruni started a well-publicized romance. He openly stated to Cosmopolitan, "I don't think I want to date celebrities anymore, since that relationship ended in turmoil." That feeling might have been a reflection of his relationship with Jacqueline, a lady he adored but was never able to fully commit to. Vincent was just the start of Jacqueline's many amorous encounters with younger men. She started dating German-Turkish Wing Chun martial artist and renowned bodyguard Emin Boste 2 years later. Nobody was certain how they had initially met. There were rumors that Jacqueline had been looking for a personal trainer before falling in love. In any case, despite their disparate lifestyles and ages, the romance immediately blossomed. Jacqueline continued to be sensitive to the disparaging terms used to describe Emin, such gigolo, even after they parted ways. She publicly defended him, demonstrating that her emotions had been anything but fleeting. Long after their split, the two were occasionally seen together, and they had a brief reunion in 2007. Jacqueline's relationship with music was complex and intensely emotional, and she never let the opinions of others influence her decisions. Jacqueline maintained her classic beauty over the years, becoming more seductive as she grew older. Hollywood's strict expectations that a leading lady should settle down, remarry, or rely on a partner for stability were something she refused to follow. Many were perplexed by her independence. Because of this, speculations about her romantic life were constantly circulated by the media. Chevy Chase, an American comedian renowned for his wild energy and scandalous personal life, was one of the names who sparked rumors. The public found it too alluring to reject the notion of matching an autonomous Jacqueline with a disobedient Chevy, even though there was no hard evidence. Then there was the billionaire MGM tycoon Kirk Kirkin, a man of great fortune and influence in the music industry. Kirkin was older, more composed than her younger boyfriends, and their relationship was so private that there isn't a single picture of them together. Even yet, tabloids continued to circulate rumors that he had previously abandoned Jacqueline in Paris when she refused to board his private plane to return to the United States. Schizzi, an infamous Italian playboy of Europe's upper class in the 1960s and 1970s, was another moniker that piqued interest. If their relationship did occur, it was undoubtedly brief but powerful, very much in Jacqueline's vein. To truly experience the moment and then let the song be carried away by the wind. At the age of 81, Jacqueline leads a tranquil life and is no longer involved in any public relationships. She has opted for a quiet life away from the commotion for more than 20 years. The public is still fascinated by Jacqueline's lack of marriage and childbearing. She grimly responded, "Marriage never really interested me," when asked in an interview if she regretted not settling down as society anticipated. She was even more direct at another point. "The term forever terrifies me. I've always made an effort to maintain relationships, but I never believed that marriage was the best course of action." Jacqueline was a symbol of seduction and independence, a lady who always pursued her own path, regardless of criticism. Perhaps the same philosophy, loving sincerely but without chains, is what made her special.